This YCN segment is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Lake Sunapee in Newberry Harbor.
Welcome in, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Brett Franklin in studio. Brett Franklin, my guest this week, special guest, as he's always here. Thanks for joining us, Brett.
Appreciate it, Jeremy. Good to be here.
Brett from ESPN Radio for the Upper Valley. You can always catch his show 12 to 1, Monday through Friday, online, 945ESPN.com, or the old-fashioned way on the dial, 94.5 FM, 1230 and 1400 AM. And we are in the middle, or not in the middle, but in full swing for baseball preseason. College basketball tournament coming up, so we'll be mostly baseball and basketball heavy here today. And first, let's kick it off. The J.D. Martinez signing is official. We talked about it last week on the show, but it hadn't been official. Some complications. First off, your thoughts on the signing, Brett. It's official, and anything to worry about on this delay, why it took so long?
Well, they added another opt-out option after year 4, if I'm not mistaken. It was a little head-scratching how long that this kind of dragged out, but from what they've said, the team and Scott Boras, that there was just some I's to dot and some T's to cross, and just kind of some small, minute things. But I think it is interesting, knowing the history of the Red Sox, having picked up players in the past where they've been injured and they've still kept them on this team. So a little bit of a head-scratcher there, but seems like everything's ready to go. But we're going to have to keep an eye on it, and kind of hard to take a team for its, their word at face value, but we have to trust him at this point.
Yeah, we're going to have to hope for the best, obviously. Hopefully he'll make his debut soon. He's obviously getting ready, and we talk the dominoes that must fall now because Martinez will be the full-time DH. Obviously that falls to Hanley Ramirez and Mitch Moreland. And how do you see that breaking up the first base duties for both of those guys? And what should it be, or is it going to be whoever's got the hotter bat?
It looks like it's probably going to be that lefty-righty matchup, righty-lefty. So got to imagine it's just going to be a game-by-game basis. But I do expect, and I hopefully would expect, that Hanley Ramirez gets a little bit more at-bats and a little bit more playing time at first base, because I just think you have that potential with the bat, which you desperately need in this lineup. No disrespect to Mitch Moreland. He's got a great glove, but he's not going to give you the power numbers. I still believe in Hanley. I'm still in the Hanley camp. I think he's healthier. He's slimmer, down 15 pounds this year. He's on the TB12 diet. So I think that Hanley's going to have a rebound year. But it's going to be interesting because he's not going to be an everyday guy like he's used to.
And he said he's believing in himself earlier today, I believe it was. He said he's 30 for 30, or 30 and 30 this season. I don't know if that means 30 home runs and 30 runs scored or what, but I don't think he's stealing 30 bases. But he's going for 30 home runs, and he said he can do it. So it'll be interesting to see. And I do agree with you. I think it's that they can sacrifice some of the defense that you'll lose from Moreland to Hanley in anticipation of getting better offense and a better bat. And speaking of defense, a guy who's been talked about, has not been traded. I still don't think he will be, but Jackie Bradley Jr. There's a guy that clearly they have him for his defense. We all know that. But is there a situation where now they've got J.D. Martinez to play the outfield down the road? If they need somebody, he could be on the trading block.
We're going to find out the first 5 games, right? Because they have Pittsburgh for interleague play, and how is that going to affect with the no DH rule in the National League? So I think we're going to find out right away where J.D. Martinez is going to fit if they do have to play him in the National League situation. Listen, I like Jackie Bradley Jr. I think he's got a great glove, and I love me defense in baseball, but can he hit consistently is going to be the biggest question, because this team can ill afford to have a guy who can play great defense but then hit below the Mendoza line. I know he hasn't done that here in the past couple of years, but there were points last season where his bat was there, then it wasn't. So we need that consistency if you're a Red Sox fan. And I'm not really holding my breath for it, but anything above 260, I think you have to be happy.
Well, and the other question is, what do they do when you don't have the DH? Whose bat do they take out of the lineup? Do they move, they take out Bradley's defense, they move Benintendi over or Betts over and put Martinez in, or do they take Benintendi out? So it's going to be interesting, but I definitely think Martinez, although he's the fourth outfielder, he won't play too much, but he said he's going to play some outfield. Are you buying that, or does he just hope he plays some outfield, other than when they need when there's no DH?
I think Alex Cora probably just said, yeah, we'll get you in.
We'll get you in there.
We'll get you in there at some point. They got him for his bat. He should know that. The team knows that. They can sprinkle in a little outfield, great, but JD's here to hit, and that's what fans expect him to do.
All right, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, a month left of spring training before they get the season started. There's a lot to talk about. We'll come back in the next segment and talk more of the roster. The couple players that are up for some spots that are up for grabs. Who's going to make it? How many catchers are they going to take this year? What happens to Blake Swihart as he's having a pretty good spring? Does that earn him a roster spot? We're here with Brett Franklin from ESPN Radio for the Upper Valley. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.